Te reo ererangi o te mānia. This episode was produced in Otatahi by Plains Media, with support from New Zealand On Air.
Kia ora and welcome to Emergence News. My name is Nigel. Welcome. Haere mai. Today's program, live streaming on Plains Media every fortnight on Monday mornings at 9:30. And we can be found also on Substack, Apple Podcasts, Spotify and YouTube. Since 2015, this program has been reporting the emergence of Maitreya, the next world teacher, and also the emergence of the Masters of Wisdom, their priorities and teachings, especially the need to implement radical changes and action in the political, economic and social arenas. Today's program is focused on peace. As Eliza Graf, a Share International co-worker in Europe, says, peace is no longer just an option. It is a necessity. As President John F. Kennedy said back in 1963, world peace is the most important topic on earth. I am talking about genuine peace, the kind of peace that makes life on earth worth living, the kind that enables men and women and nations to grow and to hope and to build a better life for their children, not merely peace for Americans, but peace for all men and women. Not merely peace in our time, but peace for all time. It is noteworthy that he also said we need to seek to strengthen the United Nations to help solve its financial problems, to make it a more effective instrument for peace. And on that note, I'd like to bring you in, Peter. Welcome to the program.
Hello, Nigel.
Do you realise it's February already? It's February 2026. It's moving swiftly already, isn't it? Does time speed up as you get older?
It does seem to, the days do seem to fill very easily, actually.
Now, on the subject of peace, on the last program we talked about planetary avatars and we talked about cosmic avatars, all helping humanity work towards peace and being able to, right relationship, being able to work together and live together.
That's right.
So what are you looking at later in the program, Peter?
Well, Nigel, I've got a copy here of Benjamin Krem's Master Maitreya's Mission, Volume 3, and he talks about the avatar of synthesis, and it really is, he's a great being that overshadows Maitreya and obviously assists with his work.
Part of the cavalry to help humanity.
In fact, you would say he's almost a leader.
Looking forward to that later in the program. And Shafia, you're on the subject of peace. Before we talk about some examples, I'd like to talk about you.
Right. Okay.
Dancers of Universal Peace. That's an organisation or a group of people globally that you've been associated with for some time.
Yes, 35 years.
So where did you do your training originally?
So I trained in England. The first time I encountered the Dancers of Universal Peace was on the monastery in Glastonbury. And I was just so taken by the fact that after we danced together, how all the barriers sort of seemed to fall away and we just really connected as people, even though we were strangers.
And what has been your New Zealand connection there?
So I was a teacher mentor when I was there, and when I came to New Zealand, the community here were really keen on learning more about the dancers, so I ran 3 trainings here. Okay,
so you're mentoring and training, and what has that involved?
So the Dancers of Universal Peace were the inspiration of a man called Samuel Lewis, was part of the Levi Strauss movement, and he went into all the different religious traditions, and he decided that he had a vision of everybody dancing together. and singing all the sacred phrases of the different spiritual traditions around the world. And so the motto for Dancers of Universal Peace is eat, dance and pray together, which is, community. And it's also about unity in diversity. So we honour all the spiritual traditions of the world, but leave all the dogma behind.
Yes.
Because so many wars are created through religion,
Yes. So ceremonies involving music and dance.
Yes, yes.
And devotional music and ritual movement, as you've just hinted, dance to further enhance closeness to God?
Closeness to God, to each other, to work in harmony together. We dance in circles, we sing together, and so we're actually sort of harmonising the group and in a spiritual practice and doing group work, which is what the Age of Aquarius is about.
This movement has taken you literally around the world, hasn't it?
It has, yes, yeah.
All right. So, in regard to peace, what else are you looking at today?
So, I was going to a lovely story that is really making the rounds at the moment on social media. Is about a group of Buddhist monks who are doing a peace walk through America.
You are listening to Emergence News, and the theme for today's program is peace. And in America, they ask for nothing, they walk for peace, and the world feels it. They ask for nothing, no donations, no slogans, no enemies to defeat. This is why this walk is unsettling for some and deeply healing for others. What are we talking about? We're talking about a group of monks. And Shafir's going to have a look at this group. They started out with 24 monks, Shafir, but I think they're down to about 19 now due to injuries.
I think so. That's what I heard, yes. Yeah.
And they're walking 2,300 miles across the United States for peace. Tell us more.
So these Buddhist monks are from the Huang Dao Vipassana group that are based in Fort Worth in Texas. They are walking all across to Washington for peace. They left on October the 26th, and they are really activists for peace. And as you say, they're walking over well over 2,000 miles.
Thousands of people
Thousands of people. They've become very well known on social media, and they regularly update their progress, and they give reports and inspirational notes and poetry about their walk. So they're really encouraging people to think about peace. And I love this quote that they said. They said, "We do not walk alone. We walk together with every person whose heart has opened to peace, whose spirit has chosen kindness, whose life has become a garden where understanding grows." And so they're really inspiring people all around the world. And I think they've got over nearly getting on towards 500,000 followers now. And with them, I love this story, with them is Aloka. He's a brown and white Indian pariah dog, which was a stray on the streets of India. And during a peace walk there, he attached himself. And they walked every day, through the rain, through the heat, and his persistence and his dedication to them earned him a place to be part of the walk. So now he walks everywhere with them. And his name is Aloka, and that which means enlightenment. And he's become a global media star. He's got his own media accounts on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And you can Google Aloka the Peace Dog, any of those sites. And
yes, and that's what he's known as, the Peace Dog, isn't he?
He is known as the Peace Dog, yes. And they say that he's really protective of the monks. He's actually quite shy when everybody rushes around him. He's quite shy, but he's always looking out for the monks and what they're doing and protecting them. So it's almost like a spirit guide, an animal spirit guide, isn't it?
Yes, it's quite wonderful, and the people that are flocking to see them as they approach each new town,
yes,
and the security and the police that are involved in looking after the monks and the dog, Aloka.
That's right. Yes.
They are quite touched by this peace walk and the monks, and some lovely things are happening along the way. There was a couple getting married nearby to the road, and so the monks stopped and blessed the couple and then carried on. And so there's little incidents like that, which are random
acts of kindness and inspiration and all that, and that's how you touch people's hearts, don't you, for peace? It's that human connection that we have with each other.
So genuine, isn't it?
Yes, and that's sort of really, that's what they're doing. So they're great teachers,
Yes, and it's a great example of what we need in the world right now.
Yes, definitely.
Just sort of rebalancing the darkness with the light. And, of course, Peter's going to be talking about that shortly. I can think of some other wonderful examples of peacemakers and peace workers in action. The Freedom Flotilla in 2025 last year included over 50 ships from over 140 countries. And I was just interested, because you're over here from the UK. Here in New Zealand, that story didn't make mainstream media at all. You could only find that story out online through social media. What was it like in the United Kingdom?
Very similar.
Really?
I follow some alternative news outlets. And one of the journalists from there, he was actually on the flotilla, and he filmed it all. All what they went through. And it was, it was a real big deal. They had so many things go wrong, and they all had to change. They got really close to their little group, and then they all had to disperse on other boats. And he actually filmed it when the Israeli military came in and sort of took over the boats. And they all had to really go through a great deal of training to not react. And again, this is the detachment element that we were talking about in other programs. They had to not react to give them any excuse to
not to
provoke them. And they went through great amounts of training doing that. He was saying that they had to lie on the floor and have people shouting at them and hitting them, and as they're training.
So that was part of the training?
Part of the training, so that because they knew that that's what was going to happen, and they would actually then be able to withstand that and to do it. And the people who didn't react were the ones that were chosen to go, because I think there was 250 loads of people, 250,000 people applied.
Goodness me! Oh, look, I'm glad I asked you that question. That's given us some interesting insight into that particular process with the Freedom Flotilla last year.
Yeah.
You mentioned on the last program Jeremy Corbyn.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
A vocal opponent of the Iraq War. British politician, isn't he?
Yes.
And the chair of the Stop the War coalition between 2011 and 2015. Mm-hmm. And I remember saying to you last time that he actually picked up a couple of awards. One of them was the Gandhi International Peace Award.
Yes.
And the other one was the Sean McBride Peace Prize. So he's been recognised for his work towards peace.
Yes, and
which is unusual for a politician.
Yes, and also internationally, he's been very much. He's always invited to the peace forums that are going on around the world, and he has a huge amount of status in that for the work that he's done, and again he's one of those who's always had honesty of mind, sincerity of purpose, and detachment to be able to say, let's step back from all the rhetoric that's going around. Let's look at what's happening, and see both sides, and which is a real peacemaker.
Mm. And another real peacemaker who was a politician, both you and Peter will remember this guy, ex-President Jimmy Carter. He won a Nobel Peace Prize in 2002 for his untiring effort for human rights and peacemaking. American writer, and she's a Share International co-worker, Cher Gilmore, says, Jimmy Carter, his work as an ex-president has no equal. He played a central role in promoting Habitat for Humanity, travelled the world promoting democracy, peace and human rights, and the Carter Centre has been working for more than 40 years promoting peace and health in more than 90 countries. Now, this is the interesting bit. Benjamin Creme commented on Jimmy Carter back in 1995. So he made a prediction. Benjamin Creme said, if he lives long enough, I believe he will become a member of a group of wise men. Now, Jimmy Carter was a founding member of the Elders, a group of independent global leaders, and that was formed by Nelson Mandela back in 2007. And Carter has been an active member of the Elders. He was an active member for over 9 years.
Yes.
So he was a remarkable man because he only just died last year, I think.
I think he reached 100, didn't he?
100 or 101, yes.
And he was working, I think, right to the end, building houses and going along. And, and it's a shame, isn't it, that he only did one term? They didn't vote him back in because he wasn't serving the...
Well, I guess in that job, no president is perfect, and I think it's one of the reasons why a lot of peacemakers don't get into politics because it is such a difficult environment to work in.
It's a dog-eat-dog sort of relationship.
Yes, it is, and to maintain honesty of mind, sincerity of spirit, and detachment. It's a tall order when you're working with such a diverse range of people with all opposing agendas a lot of the time, Peter.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You are listening to Emergence News, and we're talking about peace and peacemakers on today's program. And we're going to now cross back to you, Peter.
Okay, so I'm reading out of Maitreya's Mission, Volume 3, and he talks about love and the aspect of the planetary lives and the spirit of peace and also the avatar of synthesis. Love is an active force which transforms. Love which does not act is hardly love at all. Love in action is the essence of love. It is an ability to love the world and all that is in it, which is the capacity of Maitreya. The deepest desire of the heart of the one who can do that to unify all. He looks into the world and sees billions of people suffering, striving, competing, all the different actions, some positive, some deeply negative. He sees all of that and his urge, his deeper desire, the outflow of his spiritual heart's need, all that together to unify it all. Here's the planetary life. He has entered into the consciousness of the Logos at the highest level. He has two further levels of cosmic consciousness, and overshadowed by the spirit of peace and the avatar of synthesis, sharing the consciousness of the Buddha. This is enlarged to a degree beyond our imagination. There has never been an avatar better equipped for his task than Maitreya. There has never been a need for such an avatar. But the world is now so complex, so divided, so riddled with both good and bad, positive and negative, that all of these forces have to be recognized, reconciliated. This is his aim, the longing in the heart of the Christ for unity, for using his powers, his insights, to establish his nature, which is love, in the world. In this way, he teaches us how to love, and as the Master says, and love again. To love again is not to love in a normal reactive sense, but to love totally, unconditionally, in the way that masters do. This will establish the brotherhood of man. The avatar of synthesis. This avatar embodies in his being the first three aspects of God that we know, the intelligence, the love and the will aspects, plus a further aspect for which as yet we have no name. What level is this cosmic entity? It would stagger you if you could know. Maitreya is a 7th degree initiate. That means that as far as the solar system is concerned, he has 2 levels of cosmic consciousness. The avatar of synthesis has 12 levels of cosmic consciousness.
This is Emergence News on Plains Media, broadcasting on 96.9 FM, streaming live and available as a podcast on plains.org.nz. For more information, go to shareinternational.org.
You are listening to Emergence News, and today's program has very much had a focus on peace and examples of peacemakers and their vision for a better future for us all. We've been talking a lot about politicians such as Jeremy Corbyn, Jimmy Carter, John F. Kennedy, Nelson Mandela and Mahatma Gandhi on the previous episode of Emergence News. So politics, the area of politics. Well, Maitreya, although he is a spiritual teacher, he is working and is focused on the political arena. Why? Because this is the critical area where positive, profound change can and must improve the problems of humanity. And on the subject of Maitreya, Shafia, you have a message.
Yes, I liked this message it's message 13. It's just an excerpt from it, which I think sums up what we've been talking about. And he says, each person is a lighthouse and sheds abroad his light for others. Make bright your lamp and let it shine forth and show the way. All are needed, every one. No one is too small or young to take part in this great plan for the rescue and rehabilitation of our world. How to start? Begin by dedicating yourself and all you are and all you have been to the service of the world, to the service of your brothers and sisters everywhere. Make sure that not one day passes without some act of true service, and be assured that my help will be yours. This is the path of service, is the only path for those who are true, for it is the path which leads them to God.
This is Emergence News on Plains Media here in Christchurch, New Zealand, in the South Island of New Zealand, and we welcome your company. And we've been talking about peace, and we've been talking about the wise words of Maitreya. And on that theme, we're going to finish with Maitreya's call. Take it away, Peter.
Thanks very much. This is from the November Share International by Benjamin Krem's master. Whenever the forces of light and darkness come together to do battle, men may be assured that the victory will be with the light. However long the struggle, the end is not in doubt. For this reason, there is no need to fear in the present conflict. All outer events notwithstanding, the forces of light are in the ascendant and steadily inculcate a new and higher rhythm and purpose in men's lives. This being so, the outer signs of turmoil and violence, of hatred and fear, are but the death throes of a dying civilization under the impact of the new. When the smoke of battle has cleared, humanity will find itself entering into a dispensation unlike aught known before. Into, as Maitreya has said, a simpler life, where no man lacks, where no 2 days are alike, where the joy of brotherhood manifests through all men. To create such a life, much effort will be needed. All must be forged by man himself under the guidance of the great ones. All that obstructs the creation of the new civilization must be relinquished, and the stage reset for the construction of more adequate forms. Herein lies the opportunity for humanity to show its true creative genius and capacity for renewal. Man is a potential God, and soon that divinity will find expression in the spiritual transformation of the world. Let it not be assured that men will re-enter the churches. This is unlikely to be the case. But in every field of endeavour wherein man is engaged, a new divine livingness will manifest itself, and a new radiance issue from the lives and actions of men. That this will call for sacrifice is obvious, but only for the sacrifice of selfishness and greed. These alone create the divisions which separate the peoples and threaten now the very existence of the race. Such a willing sacrifice will take men to the heights of achievement and confirm them as potential gods. Certainly today there is a longing for change and a recognition of the field for sacrifice. Wherever thoughtful men and women meet today and talk of the needs of the times, this fact is known. Until now, however, it remains but an ideal. No nation takes the lead and shows the way. Maitreya has come, therefore, to show that only through sacrifice of narrow, selfish interest can the bridges between the factions be built, the tension resolved, the hungry fed. Be ready then to accept the sacrifices which you will be called upon to make of your privileges and power, your nation's influence and wealth, your unjust share of the world's resources. Be ready to accept that all men are one, that God loves all equally, and that each is a reflection of the divine. When you see him, Maitreya will leave you in no doubt. The course you have to follow will be clear. Take your brother's need as the measure of your action and solve the problems of the world. There is no other course.